So you guys might be new frogs here, right? Some of you guys are coming over from Genshin Impact over to Honkai Star Rail, finally giving the game a chance. And I want to try and make a simple comparison guide just to let you guys know what are some similarities between the two games, how to understand what are light cones, what are Eidolons, what are traces, what is all this different currency and different names, if it's confusing for anyone, as easily as possible for you all to understand. All right, first things first, let's start off with the character screen here. So there are different types of elements here, as if you want to call it, combat types. We have physical, fire, ice, lightning, wind, quantum, and imaginary. Now, unlike Genshin Impact, you can't try to combo fire and ice to do more damage, like melt or reverse melt. Instead, this is more for weakness break. Multiple enemies in the game under their HP bar or their name will have a different element underneath them, and they will be weak to that. AKA, if you use a fire character against an enemy who is weak to fire, you'll break their shield a lot faster, stagger them, and allow you to dish out more damage and get out of harm's way. There are also paths for characters as well: destruction, hunt, erudition, harmony, nihility, preservation, and abundance, which have different effects, or basically they're archetype, right? Abundance characters will be able to heal allies and restore. Preservation is more for like shielding. So if we take a quick look here and go to the data bank and look at the characters currently in the game, you can actually categorize between all of these. You can see the destruction characters are Clara, Arlan, and Hook. The hunting characters, which are basically like your single target characters, we have Dawn Hung, really good 4-star character at the beginning. Su Shang, she should be on the next banner with Jin Yuan. We have Yang Qin and Zila as your 5-star hunt characters. These are your single target boss killer type of characters. Abundance, these are your healers. There's only 2 healers in the game. Natasha's a free healer you get. She's an AoE healer for her ultimate, and she can also cleanse. Highly recommend leveling her up. Bai Lu, she's also an AoE healer, I believe, and she can revive. So there's only 2 healers in the game. Please make use of the Natasha that you get for free. And then, of course, you have your shield characters, March, Japard, Nihility, your debuffer. Pella can remove defense from the enemy. And Harmony for, like, speed buffs. Ting Yun for buffing as well. And then Erudition, these are, like, your AoE-ish kind of characters. So you have all of your types there. Moving on, we have light cones. Light cones are literally just your weapons. You can enhance them, level them up, and you'll be required to get your Trailblazing level, which is technically like your adventure rank, up to level 15 before you can keep ascending them to level 30, as you can see right here. Superimpose is pretty much like refinements, so every time you level up, the percentage that's highlighted will get increased as well. So right now this says increases the wearer's basic attack and skill damage by 25%. If I superimpose, that's going up to, let's see, 25%. If we do it again, 30%. Max of 5 levels, so this is literally the same as just refining your weapons. Traces is your talents, so you are not going to be able to level up your talents yet until you hit that character ascension, much like how in Genshin you're able to do that. And Eidolons are your constellations. You do get the free constellations for main characters, and I think that covers all of that. You can take a look at all their skills. There is a technique for every single character, which is technically your out of combat ability you can use. So main character, you're able to restore HP for your entire team. March, able to freeze an enemy, 100% base chance to freeze at least one. Dawn Hung increases his attack. Everyone has their own unique technique they can use, and you have like 3 skill points you can use for every technique. So definitely try to utilize those, especially in the later games when you're trying to fight a boss right before. Make sure you guys prep for that. All right, we do have a 7-day daily login. These tickets are pretty much your limited tickets. These are the limited ones for the limited banner and the weapon banner, 41 days on that. These are pretty much like milestones that you end up getting for reaching certain trailblazing levels. The silver tickets are for the beginner banner and the standard banner. So silver, beginner, gold, limited, easy to differentiate those two. These are other like events and stuff like that that are permanent in the game. Free characters, you end up getting more light cones, which again are 4-star weapons. trial characters you can try out. Simulated Universe, which is pretty much like a roguelike event. You hop in, you go through, you pick random buffs. It's all random every single time you enter in, and then you're able to purchase things from the shop. As you can see here, a one-time buy, and these are 5-star light cones right here. So yes, you do get to pick 3 free 5-star light cones, and I think if you play within your first 2 weeks, you should be able to get enough of this currency to buy at least one of them. So do keep that in mind. Buy the 5-star light cones first. Those are your 5-star weapons. And then you can just go and spend all the rest you want on these Star Rail passes, your limit or your standard banner wishes. You also get a free 4-star character as well, your quantum character. So like I said, Simulated Universe is the way you can go in, farm materials, 3,500 every single week. As long as you clear that, you're able to get all these resources. Stellar Jades, which is technically your Primo Gems in Honkai Star Rail. Lost Fragments, which is your Relic XP. This is used for artifacts, which we don't have unlocked early game just yet. Star Rail Pass. The credits is basically your more equivalent. And then you have different worlds here, and you're able to farm all these materials, which is used to enhance and level up character ascension, talents, stuff like that for different types of characters. While we're talking about the banner, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way. You do have a beginner banner. You are guaranteed a 5-star, one of these 5 stars within your first 50 wishes. Currently, I've made 40 and I have not gotten lucky. So within my next 10, I will be able to get one of these 5-star characters. I highly recommend doing that. This is your limited character banner. The first one, Zila with the 4-star characters, and you can take a look at all of them down here as well. 21 days on that per signature weapon right down here with the other 4-star light cones as well. So the Natasha one, etc. And then we have the standard banner, permanent banner that's going to stay up forever, but with a twist. After 300 wishes, you're able to pick any of these 5-star characters that you want. So very good, right? So if you don't get the character that you desperately wanted out of those 50 wishes on the beginner banner, you're able to get one of these characters for free after 300. I think that's pretty neat. So if you do end up getting Zila and you don't get a Branya is really good with Zila. Recommend that. And if we're talking about the currency here, the Oneric shards are basically like your Genesis crystals. And we already went over the different types of tickets, the gold and the gray. You do have your stamina system here. So we have Trailblaze powder. This is like your fragile resin. It'll restore 60 of your stamina. And you have 180 total, and I believe each one refreshes in about, I want to say 5 minutes. 5 minutes per. It's either 5 minutes or 6 minutes per refresh. So definitely a lot faster, and you're able to hold a lot more as well. All right, let's go over some of the other important stuff here. You do have your monthly subscription pass, $5 value. You get 300 of the Oneric shards, I think. What is it called? The Oneric pouch early on, and then you get 90 stellar jades every single day. This is pretty much, now this is big, and I want to talk about this really quick. You have Undying Starlight, and then you have Undying Ember. This is your equivalent to Star Glitter and Star Dust, right? I would recommend spending your Undying Ember on the monthly Star Rail Special Pass and the Star Rail Pass for your free 5 limited wishes every month and your free 5 standard wishes every month. You get these by wishing and getting 3-star items, characters, light cones, which is your weapons, and you can generate those. I would recommend buying those. These down here are basically just like boss materials, enemy materials that you're able to just farm yourself off of like Simulated Universe for free, so don't worry about that. I wouldn't spend doing that unless you're like a whale. And I would also recommend saving your Undying Starlight that you get for getting like 4-star characters and 5 stars, saving up all the Starlight to buy these. These are once again more 5-star weapons. Now we don't have this in Genshin. You're not able to actually buy a 5-star weapon from the shop for free, but now if you accumulate enough, aka if you get enough 4-star cost or 4-star characters and 4-star light cones, you can buy the Himiko light cone, which is the Himiko weapon, her best in slot. So that's a really good thing. I wouldn't be spending it on this one wish or on these character constellations here. I'd be saving up for some of these signature 5-star weapons here. We also have little bundles here that you can buy with the Oneric shards. You're only able to buy this with IRL money. So as you can see here, first time value, of course, you get bonus shards and stuff like that. And then you got the Stellar Jades, which is just the value of trading your Stellar Jades to your wishes. Pretty much the same as like 160 primos for your Star Glitter or your Intertwined Fate and Acquaint Fate, etc. Stuff like that. Same deal. All right, so there's also a Trailblaze level, which is technically your adventure rank. Right now, we are Trailblaze level 13 at the moment. You go to the Star Rail ship, the parlor car, talk to Pom Pom, which is like your Catherine, and you are able to get your rewards for your designated Trailblaze level. There are rewards all the way up to 70 with missions in between to prove yourself, like a boss fight, to actually, you know, be able to send your characters even more. So the first one is at level 20 here, as you can see, the upgrade mission, and then you get it a little bit later on at 30. So on and so forth, pretty much very similar. We of course have the battle pass, right? The free tier, the pay tier, 50 levels as well, with all of your missions and all of your 4-star light cones that you're able to get here. I don't want to say anything yet, but I'm not sure if these are just exclusive only to the battle pass, because I feel like in the beta I was actually able to get some of these outside of the battle pass. So I don't want to say that these are exclusive only to the battle pass and you're only able to get these kind of light cones, these 4-star weapons, if you bought the battle pass. I swear in the beta I was able to get them, but they might have made them exclusive. Let's go to the handbook now. All right, so there is a handbook in the game. You have little missions you can do that gives you like wishes, some XP, some Trailblaze XP to level up your Trailblazing account. Right now we're on part 2. You do have daily commissions that we unlocked, I think, at Trailblaze level 12. It took us about 2.5 hours of skipping through dialogue, finally get to the daily commissions. You're not required to do all of them, just enough to get the 500 and you're good to go. And then you also have Calyx, which is basically like your Leylines, right? So we have Bud of Memories, this is your character XP, and then you have Bud of Ether, which is your Light Cone XP, aka your weapon XP. You unlock these pretty early in the game, and you are able to select how many waves you want. So if I want to do 6 of them at the same time, I can challenge it, put it on auto, just make sure your corresponding elements are appropriate to these. And by that, I mean, you can take a look. It tells you the recommended elements: physical, ice, pyro, and wind. Right now, we have all of that minus the minus the fire. And so since we're using Dawn Hung right here, he's a wind character. If we look at this, you can see the top of their bar will be broken. That's what we're talking about when it comes to weakness break. Weakness break, they don't get a chance to move. Their combat readiness gets all the way decreased on the left side here in the order of operations, as we can see. And with ultimates, you're able to skip a turn. So even though Dawn Hung is all the way at the bottom down here, and he's not getting a turn until, you know, after all of them go, I can hit 3, pop his ult, and we jump ahead immediately. So whenever you want to try to like utilize your ults to jump ahead of the enemy if they're going to attack first, you can always do that. It's always a viable thing. I do want to also remind everyone that your skill points in the bottom right is shared between the entire team, aka your E. You can charge it up by using Q, and there's other various ways and methods to do so as well. But E uses it for literally all of your entire team. It's shared. If I E here, I lose 1, as you can tell. There is some special currency in the game. So we have world currency for different worlds you end up visiting. So we have shields here and Heritarium over here. And you're able, it's like souvenir shops, give or take. So right now, if I open up the world map and I go to Eurilo 6, and I go to Boulder Town, this icon right here, very distinct, will sell some items to you. So if we end up navigating over there, loading screens are very fast, and then we end up talking to the sky, these are like the souvenir shops. Everything's like a one-time buy. You buy it once, you're done. So you have 10 supplies for these. These are like your materials to level up your characters and level up your talents. For certain characters, these are for hunt characters, as you can see. Traces. So you level up talents for trace hunt characters. These are for destruction characters. This is your constellation for main character, or your Eidolon. And then every time you do spend shield currency here, you are going to get various rewards up to 6,800. Every world is a little bit different. So this is like a one-time clear shop. It's Some of the other stuff down here, like some of the relics, the 4 stars, you can't get until you hit Trailblaze level 20. Personally, I wouldn't recommend actually running and farming relics once you hit early game. Most of the stuff you're going to get anyways from quests and chests and challenges. Try not to spend it because you're not going to be guaranteed. There are 5-star relics out there, so definitely wait until you are a higher Trailblaze level before doing that. I'd prioritize focusing on like XP, not as much as these because you can just buy them from these shops anyways, but if you desperately need to, there are going to be some runs and like Calyxes out there you can do. There's not condensed resin in the game. However, there is and there isn't. I can't explain it to you right now because I don't have it unlocked. On the simulated universe, I'm sad that it's not here yet. I don't know if it's taken out of the game. There is materials you're able to get later on. I think once you hit World 3, you're able to exchange resin, 40 of them, for materials. I think it's like relics and stuff like that. And you're able to convert your stamina, your Trailblaze powder, over to this different currency just for the simulated universe, and it acts kind of like a condensed resin kind of thing because you're only able to hold like 6 of them. So there is, but there isn't, you know? Open world. The game is not an open world game. So there's different zones. So I know a lot of people are going to be coming over from Genshin Impact and expecting the same exact game. It's quite different. It's a turn-based game. There are different zones. As you can see, we have the map. If we go to the space station, we have different little instanced zones here. So we have one little zone here. They're literally called zones, right? Storage zone. We have supply zone. I can go to Eurilo 6. I don't have that many areas unlocked. We have the car, of course, as always. Administrative district. This is the big open map there. We have the snowy plains here. You can see all the treasure chests and stuff that we've collected. It's like a linear path. Every area is more or less like a linear path you go through. Once you go through it once, you're pretty much done with it if you got all the chests. Of course, you'll have to double take and go back to some of the areas so you can farm materials off of bosses to get loot. But there's also the simulated universe you can do that for if you wanted to do that. It's not an open world. This is pretty much it. Like, the world is beautiful, don't get me wrong, right? As you can see, but you can't really just go wherever you want outside of the bounds. Probably can't go down this street. Yeah, gonna cut me off, you know, to the outlying snow plains. All right, last but not least are just redemption codes. You get it very early on. Character profile redemption code HSR grand open 1 for one code, 2 for another code, 3 for another. There's also STARRAILGIFT, which counts. And then this one, I've heard that some people can't actually activate it. It's worked for me. I don't know if it's limited or not, but this one as well. So all those codes on the screen, make sure you guys end up claiming those. I don't know how time sensitive they are. If there's anything I ended up missing and any questions that you guys might have about the game, please do join us over on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming this game every single day after launch for at least like a week. You guys are more than welcome to join in, ask any questions. I'm an open book. I'll answer all your questions. I did play the beta. We are basically just trying to speedrun through the game and get to the end game content like Forgotten Halls. There is a Spiral Abyss in this game. It's called Forgotten Halls. There's like 15 floors that you do for the first time. They don't reset. You get rewards for them. I don't have it unlocked yet. And then after that, you unlock a new section that does reset every single 2 weeks, I believe. And there are going to be 2 different teams you have to run for first half and second half, quote unquote. So yes, there is a Spiral Abyss equivalent in this game, much like Genshin Impact, as well as a simulated universe, which is kind of like a roguelike section. So those are your 2 endgame modes for Honkai Star Rail. But I hope this video helped and helped clear up some of the similarities and some of the confusion anyone might have had with Honkai Star Rail coming from Genshin Impact. This should be a relatively easy game to pick up. There are a lot of similarities, as you guys just saw. But let me know if I missed anything. Ask any questions down below. Thank you guys for watching.